everybody. Welcome to Girl, Let's Agree to Disagree. We are your hosts. I'm Jessica Milagros. We got Braden White. We got Miss Kemi Fakunle. We got Hannah Chada. And we have our co-guest host, Mr. Rohan Kapoor. The Rose Show.
Hello.
Woo!
It's the Veto King.
The
Thank you.
Veto King, Mr. Rowe Show. We are, oh my gosh. This is such a fun-packed episode. We have it recapped in the past week, so we're just going to give you a quick little recap of where we left off, where we're at now. First, make sure that you say hi in the comments. We want to recognize you as well. As, look, Hannah said it. She's like, click, like, subscribe, click to receive these notifications, let you know when we're on. Typically, I think we're on every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. If we're not, you can subscribe and we'll let you know when the next show is. We're so excited, y'all, today. Y'all. Wait, first of all, Miss Chada, can you please let us know what the views?
This is an occurrence every week. I feel like I'm always somewhere new. I'm always on my way. Yes, exactly. Z malicious.
Where are you on your way to?
Class.
Unfortunately, Chada has a class like a little bit in a few, so she only gets to be with us for the first half, unfortunately, because we know we want to say all the things. So it's like, no, not in the
Wait, do you have AirPods in? Oh, you do.
Yes.
I didn't know if you had AirPods in or if you're a Uber driver.
Actually, no, the Uber driver is joining us tonight on this podcast.
I was going to say, introduce them.
Everything BBCAN from the Uber driver down in LA. Sir, what do you think of Gino?
Shout out for shout out.
Yeah, everybody. Oh my gosh. Yes. We can ask him what he thinks of Big Brother Canada if he even watches.
What did you think about the Blind Side? Do you like Kyle Moore?
Let's go quickly.
Which Kyle Moore?
Yes. Did he probably
one and
asked.
two. Take your pick.
He said thing one or thing two. Which one?
Heads or tails? Take your pick.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Top.
Y'all, we have, well, I don't even know where to start really, because to even start in the very beginning would feel like a crime, because the best thing happened pretty much at the very end of the show. So
we can just talk about the end the entire time, because there was nothing to talk about at the beginning of the show, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, this whole thing, I mean, I knew that this was going to be kind of a mess for people who have been watching the live feeds. Like, we knew kind of beforehand that this was going to happen, that they were trying to blindside. The question was it going to actually happen, or was someone going to snitch? And to you all, did it seem like someone snitched?
No. I think everyone was genuinely surprised. And by everyone, I mean, what's his name? The white guy's name with the tattoos? Gino. Gino. It's almost like he isn't there.
You're done,
He might as
sweetie.
well
You're done.
be invisible. Might as well be Casper. Anyway, Gino seemed genuinely shocked. JL. What's the other guy's name? Kyle Moore 2 or Kyle Moore 1?
Kyle Moore. I don't even know. So on our, I want to let everybody know that on our little thumbnail, yes, we do know that was Kyle 1.
Okay,
and that
so
was
this
done
is Kyle
on purpose. This was on purpose. Obviously, It seems that maybe Braden and Rohan, you all can chime in here. Is your Kyle the better Kyle?
Braden, why don't you take this one? You can feel down.
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about, problematicness, then absolutely. If we're going to talk about comp beasts, then, this Kyle will really just take the cake. I think there was a stat that was like, there's been 5 Kyles on BBCAN, and he's the only one to win something.
4, yeah.
Oh,
4 of them.
really? Oh, that's so funny.
I said that like I was wild, but then I was also like, I mean, I'm the first Braden to win anything, so I mean, I don't know why I'm like, oh my god.
But I mean, Braden's not a common name to my knowledge.
Braden is, but like Braden, I would say.
No, but I mean, like in terms of No, I mean in
What?
terms of BBCAN
Nobody's
players.
efforts.
Oh, no. Sorry, yeah. Oh, we're talking about Big Brother Canada today. Sorry, I thought this was just a general chat. Apologies.
Biggie, no biggie, no biggie.
I'm new to
Yeah,
the show,
I mean-
everybody. Honored to be here, by the way.
I'm glad he got that in. Y'all,
Girl,
yes.
let's agree to disagree.
I'm not girl.
You're one of the girls, girl. Come
I'm a girl.
on.
I'm a
Come on,
girl.
Miss
So
Girl,
happy to
Miss
have
Girl.
you. Come on, Miss
Miss
Girl.
Girl.
Miss
Miss
Ro
Girl.
Ro Show. Come on,
Some
Ro
water.
Show.
It's hot in here.
But no, I agree. I was also worried that someone was going to spill. I don't know how it was for you guys, but on our season, we were usually very transparent with people. Like, hey, babe, you're going, just so you know, like, enjoy your last night. Like, do whatever you need to do. If you need to go, say goodbye to the house or, do whatever you need to do to process leaving. Go for it. So I could see why Tanisha was like, I just want to tell Steph like 1 hour before. Just so she knows, she can come to terms with it. Even though it's only an hour, it's still technically a blindside. But I think it makes better TV when it's a complete blindside. Because I had the same issue with LaToya where I was like, I feel like I should just tell her. Like, I should just tell her. I feel bad. Like, if it was me, I would want someone to be like, hey, just so you know, like, if Lipton, you're going, I'm sorry.
Nobody
TV
wants to be in
aside.
that position. Nobody wants to be in that position specific. I'm just surprised they kept it a secret because of the gap of the vote, right? Like it was 9-2. That means 9 people can't say a thing. So that's what's surprising to me. Like our blindside last season was 6-3, so it was a little bit more doable and believable. But the fact that 9 people were able to hold things in, I was like, that's pretty impressive. And also Marty voting the other way, I actually didn't expect that either. So
Marty, oh my God. Can I just say, like, Marty is rising to well, he's not rising to the top of this, but that right there, him actually voting for Stephanie was just loved it.
Yeah.
It was so interesting that they really did. I mean, I feel like this episode, they really did give Kevin like a mastermind edit where they're like, oh, he's manipulating the whole house, whatever Kevin wants, Kevin gets. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that I think the rest of the house were the ones that were like, we're keeping Josh. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But just know that if you don't, we're coming for you. And instead that it was like, Kevin mastermind, head throbbing,
However,
I do feel like Kevin is a bit of a dark horse. I definitely think he's one to watch. I think he's going to make it far. If Josh makes it through next week, then I also see him making it far. I have to check into campus, so I will be right back. But yes, the look of surprise on Gino, JL, and Kyle's face, priceless. Okay, see you guys soon.
I do wonder though.
We only
think...
get snippets of her. She's going to be there. She comes and goes, y'all.
Do you guys think that Marty is going to own up to voting the other way? Or do you think he's going to blame someone?
I mean, there's no choice. Like, who is he going to
there's really no one to blame. I mean, like, I think Kyle's like number one is Gino at this point. So he's not going to, Gino's not going to go to him and lie. Obviously, Gino's HOH too. So, I mean, sorry if we get to that again. But, I mean, with who's the other vote? Jace, obviously, she's the one that voted for Steph to stay too. I mean, it's really hard to pin it on somebody else, I think, in this case. But I think he just got really, really unlucky in this situation.
I honestly,
you take shots, sometimes you miss.
I feel like Kevin, like Hannah said, is going to go really far, but I wonder if Gino's going to be like. I feel like it would be a good decision for him to backdoor Kyle. Like it's still pre-jury, and just to kind of make amends with the rest of the house. Like just fucking get rid of Kyle. Everyone else wants him out. It might look bad a little bit, but. Get rid of him.
I think that he would be down to get rid of Kyle, I think.
You said what?
I think he'd be down to get rid of Kyle. Only because I feel as though everyone wants Kyle gone over Gino. So that's good in order for him to have that. And at this point, I know it's only, I guess, technically now week 4, but I think that Gino knows that Kyle is someone that actively actually trusts him. Versus you're kind of just throwing your cards into the rest of the house guests, if he's going to enter any type of alliance at this point, he's at the very bottom no matter what, so whether or not he gets rid of Kyle this week, he's still going to be at the bottom next week.
That is true. That's true.
See,
So this
I don't know. I kind of agree with Kemi on this one. Like, I feel like he could actually like reposition himself with some, because I don't know, like there's a couple of other alliances here and there, but like I think he could reposition himself if he gets rid of Kyle now. If he doesn't, then it's almost like a guarantee that him and Kyle are on the block next week, I feel like. So whether or not he's going to be on the block one way or the other, he might as well try to, you know, get in good with the other house guests. And he already has a good relationship with Summer, so he can definitely use that to like work himself into a couple of other house guests. So I don't know. I think it could actually be smart to look at Kyle if I'm Gino, but who knows? I don't think he will, but it could be smart.
So wait, was that what you would do, Ro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I would. I think if it's just like me and this guy and then the one other girl that voted, it's an alliance of 3 in a house of what is like 10 more on the other side, right? There's 13 people in the house. I mean, that's a big difference to overcome, 10-3, right? If it's a little closer, if it's like, you know, like even a 9-4, an 8-5, or 7-6, like in that case, you have a better chance. But like 10-3 is like a lot to overcome. And if you just stick with those 2 that voted for Josh to go home, then I think it's like, well, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit because you're almost guaranteed to go on the block next week, 2 of the 3 if you don't win HOH.
Yeah.
I just feel like, oh, you go, Jess.
Go ahead. No, because I was going to redirect it to the beginning, but say your piece and then we can kind of go a little bit into the beginning.
No, I was just going to say, like, I see Rohan's point, but I just feel like regardless, you're on a sinking ship. And so I personally would be like, let me just ride with this dude if he goes home. Because like you're saying, if you're going to go on the block regardless next week, wouldn't you rather sit next to a Kyle more than a Josh?
That's also true.
That's true, but I think that we can also agree, everybody that's been on here would know that we all have been on, you know, in these positions. Look at, and she's back, different location.
Away from campus. There's like
not the Siri voice.
What school is that? Can they look into their Wi-Fi password?
It's Andrew
It's Andrew. I still auto connect to all of that.
Same every time.
Are you a robot on purpose?
Yeah, babe. Yeah, your audio. It's giving Talking Tom. It's giving
Talking Tom. Okay. Give me one.
She sounds drunk, actually. Have you been drinking?
Oh my God, Chatterbot.
I'm not like come to that restaurant. It's like 7 a.m.
It's really giving LA girl vibes drunk at the county jail.
Giving really white girl wasted. Like Yo. Oh my God. I am so this is what's yes, we agree. The saboteur took over Hannah, where she'll come out and come back in, I'm sure. Maybe we'll see how she.
Oh my God, you guys! Before I forget, can we talk about Betty and freaking Kevin? Because that was like the highlight of the episode for me. He said, "You have to act like you hate me." I do hate you.
Oh, instantly. Well, I do. So
I feel like that is such a Kemi thing to say too, because I feel like you would do the same thing if it was you in that position where like you had to keep hating me. You'd be like, I do hate you.
Right, like I'm not acting. Like
I'm not. We're very honest here. Let's see.
Yes.
Guys hear me now? Body. Still,
you are.
you just do what I do. I'm just gonna. Who's laughing? Leave me alone. Okay. Anyway, this is.
Let's just actually look at the scenery wherever you're at. Let's keep it as a nice background image.
This is just regular Hannah at our events.
Someone said, "Come on, Zingbot."
Someone said, "Come on, Zingbot." Zingbot. Oh wait, come on.
Yeah.
It is.
Zing us right now.
You all for that. You guys need on the Twitter.
Not the Saboteur took over Hannah. They're being hacked.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. This is crazy. But anyway, we can. Hannah, you're good right now because I can listen to you all day like this. I wish I had something to drink right now because it would be even funnier. But let's go back. Maybe how about if you come out and you come back in?
Oh yay!
We don't let her back in. She's gone. She's done. Anyways,
she's so drunk.
I can hear again.
I know she's so drunk. She's so drunk. Sing bot. Oh, she's back in. Yeah, I'm sorry. Does everybody want to see the hand? I don't even think I see Hannah though. Wait, okay, maybe.
Okay, let's run this back. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, audio queen.
Yes.
Am I still
the
saying
picture's
that?
giving
No.
140p.
Oh, okay.
But
Yay.
audio is giving lossless.
We got you. All right, we're good to go. I don't even know where we ended up having, but we were talking about Betty.
Right?
We're talking about Betty and Kevin. Now Kevin
She's so funny to me.
froze in not a very great position.
Is Kevin frozen? Oh.
I think she is. She was worried about what her Wi-Fi was doing. If you know that she couldn't be here last
she's
week.
She's back.
She's back.
So my face like, why did it look like that?
What is going on?
Welcome to Girl Let's
Listen,
Agree.
I don't know about y'all, but the Wi-Fi here in Canada is crystal clear. That's all I gotta say.
Yes. What's your Wi-Fi again over there in Canada?
Like our providers?
Yes.
We have Telus, we have Rogers, we have Bell, we have Shaw.
No, we have Fisher. Apparently, we have Fisher Price Wi-Fi.
You guys have cricket phone Wi-Fi. That's what you guys have.
Oh my god!
And Braden keep coming down here, and it's like you guys are in the better country, like, and you keep coming, you keep voyaging south for what reason?
Not
like,
voyaging.
It's
not the pilgrimage.
Yeah.
It is what Canada is.
Unfortunately.
Sorry. Back to Betty, who truly does listen. I would say going on Big Brother that not Rohan gone now too. What is going on?
This is what happens. This is what happens to us, y'all. Like you did this on purpose, didn't you, Ro?
I just wanted to be part of the game. I felt left out. I wanted Wi-Fi problems.
Wait, someone said that this is giving videobrother.net tonight.
For those of you who were, I know that the Canadians were not on videobrother.net, but today, yes, it was a mission trying to watch this episode because it went down about 5 times. I want to say with the needing to refresh, they kind of knew we were all looking. We're all looking. So yes, hey, this will let you know that Big Brother doesn't pay us shit. So obviously our Wi-Fi is just not gonna cut it, right? So for all y'all who think we were rich, this is Big Brother Wi-Fi, okay? It's just letting y'all know. No, but yes, let's actually go back because we were talking about it. A lot of it was kind of Betty, Kevin. This was a big Kevin episode. This was a Kevin week. Kevin did a lot, and I'm gonna go and say that I apologize now because I said in the beginning that it was gonna be very hard for him to manipulate absolutely anything because I thought like people were gonna see right through him.
It's just me and you, babe.
And but he's doing good, and I think a lot of people aside from Betty kind of trust him. Actually, Betty and Tanisha, because Tanisha also sees
Tanisha calls that man out.
Yeah, that Kevin has been playing it. Now that we look at it, do you think well, I guess Gino's the HOH, so it wouldn't really matter. But would Betty, had she won this HOH, because it looked like she was gonna win, right? It looked, she was me. I was her. Like, I was looking at her, and she's like biting nails, and she's like, oh my god, like she was everything this episode, because I was like, girl, I feel you, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but then when she put 1,000, I was
Gino
like,
came
baby.
But I mean, Gino was within like 40 seconds or something, like 40 to 90 seconds of the cap. So I was like, okay, it's for sure going to be Betty's, because the answer is going to be like 4,000 something. And then when the answer was announced as like 5,400, when Gino had 5,360, I was like, oh my god.
But didn't other people have like? Didn't Moose have like 3,700 or something? 3,300.
It was like 1,500.
Moose had 15,000, right? Or no, Moose had
15,000.
Like and then
that was Marty.
No,
Marty had like
Marty had
15,000.
15,000. Yeah.
Y'all not know there's 3,600 seconds in an hour.
Right? No, Marty.
I mean, I'm like
for 5 hours.
89,000 seconds in a day or something like that. So I was like 15,000.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Listen, these are things that you need to know going into Big Brother. How many seconds are 1 hour minimum?
For sure.
Did you guys watch BB20?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when Rachel Swindler, like she was doing like algebra or something with one of the HOH comps, and it was just like that. Like she gave some like outlandish number.
She said, she said the square root of pi.
Look, I would, who was to say literally praying for BB21 moment, but I don't think Betty would have put up Kyle. I think she was ready to backdoor Kevin. Like, there's no way. She
their feud real? Is their feud real,
like,
or are they playing it up?
Absolutely. I don't know if like the whole other side of the house would have convinced her, like, don't waste this on Kevin. Like, don't waste this on Kevin.
They would have definitely, someone would have tried to convince her otherwise. Yes, absolutely.
And I feel like
I think her initial thoughts would have been Kevin.
Yeah.
Her initial thoughts
would have been instantly. She would be like, Kevin, you're going on the block.
Yeah.
But then like talking with like Summer and Tanisha and Helena, like that little alliance, like they probably would have been like, no, you got to put Kyle on the block. And eventually
it would have been
very
Janelle winning the HOH, being like, you're going home, pack your bags.
Yeah. Yes.
That really would have been Betty.
Let's go to what was it mentioned on in the episode for those who have been watching feeds, which I was very surprised. They didn't show enough of Hermann and the way he was trying to scheme. Like, obviously, we've seen a whole bunch of these alliances. I can't even name all of them. Kyle, they mentioned one in today's episode. The Village Voice. The Village Voice sounds like a newspaper. Probably maybe it's going to be his new podcast. I think maybe his new BB podcast.
Village Voice once a week. Honestly, he probably was thinking about
marketing. The rebrand.
Yeah.
Not the rebrand.
You know,
this podcast has one listener a week, and it's Gino.
Oh my God.
No, she didn't.
I forgot she was live. I forgot she was live. Like, Brayden just wanted to peace out. He peaced out after that one. He's like,
Brayden's gonna watch something.
So
forget
for
that
no
we
reason.
have viewers. I really just be thinking that I'm talking to my friends.
Wait,
that's the whole point, right? It's kind of the whole point.
I feel left out. I missed it. Say it again.
She just
I don't know.
It doesn't get that many views, and that if you were to get any, it would be from a particular person in the house.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So we see, let's just kind of sum up the whole week, right? We see Kyle in a position of like absolute HOH-itis, superpower, wants to be known as the most iconic player of Big Brother. I'm sure that he's going to have like his tail between his legs this in the next couple days, just trying to stay low and try to figure it out. But one of the things that they didn't show, as I mentioned before, was Hermann and he actually had a lot to do with this blindside as well. Like, everybody wanted Kyle and everybody was thinking about backdooring Kyle just for the ridiculousness of him only targeting people that were part of his original alliance, right? So one of the things that I think that they really should have shown was Hermann being so shady with Steph, because they have not shown this Stephanie and Hermann relationship. So for those who haven't been watching feeds, like, they've definitely been making out. Steph has been like really trying to hone in on this as kind of a showmance of sorts, right? Telling Hermann basically everything that she feels, how she feels things are going, and Hermann thinking that he's going to be backdooring this girl the whole time.
That is disgusting. I'm sorry.
Oh, which part?
What?
We needed to
What's
see
disgusting, Hermann? I don't know.
Wait,
I was kind of here for it. I was like, play the
Rohan,
game.
don't
Play the
you know
game.
Stephanie?
Blindside your showman.
I do. I know Stephanie and I know Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah, the only reason I know Kyle is because I did his podcast after the show. Because I don't know, because he obviously had a lot of attention on Twitter, and so like a bunch of our cast already knew who he was, and so like he kind of got connected that way, and so that's how I know him. Like, I've never met him in real life, but just on the podcast and
Okay,
whatnot.
cool.
Yeah.
You know Stephanie.
Stephanie's she actually knows like a few Big Brother people. She lives downtown. I've seen her a few times. A few people on my cast know her. A few people on past seasons know her. Yeah, so I think we started to like figure out like she's going inactive online, and like she obviously knows some people from the show. So we're like, okay, she's definitely in sequester right now, getting cast for the show. So we kind of tried to figure it out. I even texted Kyle too, because I have his number and it didn't deliver, and I'm like, oh shit, he's in sequester.
You all knew. First
Yeah.
of all, let's give a big what's up to Big Brother Drew. He's online supporting us. We wish you were here with us. Yeah. So she knew everybody pretty much.
Well, did you guys give her any advice before going in the house, since you guys are all so close?
Not that close. I personally didn't talk to her before she went in. Like, I hadn't talked to her in a few months before she went in. So, didn't give her any advice. But not me playing both sides again, Tanner Lewis. No, I didn't. Obviously, well, if I gave her advice, it wouldn't be that good, because look where she is now. But no.
I mean, let's get real. We saw Party giving Kyle advice, and it was a complete opposite of what he did. So how do we feel about, especially now, Rohan, Brayden, like actually all of us, how would we feel about winning HOH and then getting a video from a past winner and them giving you advice?
I would pass away.
I don't know, but like I don't mind that.
In a good way or bad way?
When it comes from a winner.
In a good way.
Oh, sorry, you go, Ro.
What were you saying, bro?
No, I was just saying I don't mind like the videos from like past winners or like past host guests, but I don't know about like the videos from like family relationships, because like people can like talk before the show potentially and be like, hey, I'm going to make like a sign if something's going on, or if your alliance is maybe going to turn on you at some point in your future, I'm going to like, do this on my cheek or something like that. And so it's like, there are ways to kind of get around that. And so I've never really been a fan of like the family involvement in the show, like whether they're there in person or video, but like if it's from like a past house guest or something like that, where it's like going to be very hard to get around that, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think that any past house guest is going to give any like substantial information or substantial like advice,
I simply agree.
Yeah, it really
everything. Yeah, go ahead, Bray.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, to me, it just seems more so like paying homage or like, a little fan cam moment. But like every season is so different, so it's like for you to be like, oh, make big moves. It's like, okay, I will. Or it's like, don't let the power go to your head. It's like, okay, I won't.
Don't go with the house.
It's nothing groundbreaking,
Exactly. I feel like all of the video messages that they've gotten so far have been super generic and vague and filled with like Big Brother cliches. Make sure you use your power to set yourself up for safety. Like, duh, we know. But the superfan in me would die if I got a video message from Vanessa Russo, or if I got a video message from Davon. I think that would like genuinely hype me up if, you know, I had won an actual HOH. Also, not me blending in with this guy. Anyway, I literally need to stop. I need to be stopped. Rohan's never gonna want to come back. He's gonna be like, you all are. Anyway.
What?
I just said you're never gonna want to come back.
But wait, what do you think about it, Jeff? Oh, sorry. You guys go.
I'm sorry.
I'm steering the conversation in a different way.
Yeah. You go, Braden. Moderate this.
I was just asking Jess what Jess would think about getting a message from a past winner.
I love this episode, y'all. This is just this is about as chaotic as the last 3 episodes of Big Brother Canada. As Kyle's HOH.
Yes.
It is. This episode is giving very, very much Kyle's HOH.
Also, Hannah, now they're going from daytime to nighttime for Hannah. Like,
in the matter of
literally,
minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, damn. Well, going back to it, I think that ultimately they're good reminders. These are good reminders. Obviously, Party had really good information to give Kyle that he absolutely did not even take in. It was just like, this was exactly what you needed to hear had your ears been open to actually listen to it. It gave for me like the lack of self-awareness in Kyle. It was just like, it was very odd to see, because, you know, we see Kyle as someone who, or at least we thought he was like the better Kyle, or he was going to be the real Kyle Moore, or whatever, the one that should have been on the show, comes in, then decides that he wants to do all this iconic shit, which wasn't really even iconic. It was actually very stupid. And it was
It's week 3. Nothing's iconic.
Screamed very amateur.
I go at home week 3.
It's true.
She's pretty iconic.
I don't know. I feel like he just got way too ahead of himself, way too enthused about the game. And I also, he's quite young, so that could explain where the lack of self-awareness comes from. He's only like 23 or 24.
23, yeah.
I wonder how this is going to affect like Big Brother's casting of like either super fans or very like present social media like personalities, because it really could have gone one of 2 ways with Kyle, and it went like it really seemed to me like he is playing in a way that he thinks the audience wants him to play.
Absolutely.
But it's like he's playing based off of like being a casual. Like he might have binged a bunch of seasons and it's like, okay, so I have to like, forgetting that it's an edited show, and they're taking.
Absolutely, Kimmy, you're so correct, babes.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you.
Wait, you guys hear anything that she
made
said?
so many points. She made all the points.
Yeah, no, he's very much. It's very much.
No,
she cut out at
No,
the end.
Hannah,
She cut out at the end.
but we're just rolling with it because, you know.
Yes,
you know,
I mean,
because this is live, Hannah. This is live. We got to roll with the punches.
We got
here.
exactly. We just keep
live
it moving.
television.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, go ahead, Bray. Go, Bray.
No, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, like he knows the game. He obviously got like a lot of attention on Twitter last year. Like he saw like all the pandemonium around Twitter and BBCAN Twitter, and so even if he was like a casual watcher, he had access to all of that stuff. And he knows how people talk about people in that house too. Like just watching the live feeds. Like I watch some live feeds, but like mostly I get my updates from Twitter, right? Because everyone's talking about everything. There's clips on there, so it makes a lot of sense. And I think very much so what Kemi said. Like he just went in trying to like impress the audience and thought like this like confident, you know, way of going about the game would be like super cool to watch, but it just like it overstepped into cocky, and honestly a little bit of a disappointment, right? Because I had high expectations for him just based on like the attention that he got last year, and he kind of, you know, dropped the ball a little bit, right?
So would it be safe to say that Kyle was your number 1 draft pick?
Yeah.
He was pretty high on the list. Honestly, I didn't go through and like rank them. He was pretty high on the list. Like I did have high expectations for him, just like having had one conversation with him before. Like I did his podcast. He didn't give me these vibes in those conversations, right? So like I was like, oh, like I have high expectations for him. He knows the game. he had access to Twitter last year and like looking at what happened behind the scenes. So I was like, okay, I think he should probably do well. But yeah, definitely much of the opposite. So
I think that's like a common trend though amongst players that want to bye Hannah. Play for like Twitter or play for an audience, is that typically it never goes well. Like I feel like this will be also like Marty's downfall, is he keeps saying, you know, I want it to be such a great season, I want it to be such a great season, I want it to be such a great season. And that's of course possible, but I think when you're trying to manufacture it so hard, that's when it starts to flop a bit, you know?
Yeah, and also production doesn't really like that, right? Like they hate when you try to like create your own
narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I feel like they actively go against that and will like make people like, I don't know if you guys watched Bachelor in Paradise, the last Bachelor in Paradise season, but very much that. Like maybe not to that extent where they'll like completely destroy you, but like they're not going to include the narrative that you're trying to paint because they're not putting on the show for you, you know.
This is a good this is a good take. Hannah, since you lived with Frenchie and saw everything, would you compare Kyle to Frenchie?
Okay, well, first of all, in my head, all four of you guys were on BB23 with me. So
she's like, what do you mean, guys? We were all experienced.
We were at 23.5.
But 100%, I think. Yeah, you guys were part of BB 23.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, all the sequels. Also, I'm not sure if you.
We could hear you. Gone now, babes.
She kind of not anymore. Oh, right. She did this on purpose. She didn't want to be incriminated. She said, I'm gonna get messy, so let me freeze.
So didn't social media cast Frenchie as well, or had some play in it or something?
I don't believe so. He was just a super fan, kind of like how Jess is a super fan, how Kevin's a super fan. He really was just one of those, like, he was on Twitter a lot. He definitely had a lot of things to say when it came to Big Brother. So he was an active tweeter during the seasons. But no, not like Kyle. I don't know who we could compare to in Kyle, because I think like Canada has just a different way of moving sometimes. We lost her. Maybe she'll come back in. And, you know, Canada has all of these amazing, I think, twists in the sense that, you know, you have a lot of, you know, voter input on who comes in some seasons. You have players from different Big Brother, you know, from Big Brother Australia and Big Brother UK coming into play. You know, you have favorites that get, you know, that get thrown in there. So it's a little different. I don't think, have we had anybody?
Their fans.
Which one?
I said Big Brother Canada really listens to their fans in comparison to Big Brother US.
Yeah. So there, and I think that, look, regardless of whether Kyle was a good person to put in, I mean, he gave us a very memorable third week, right? And it was just like, it was their idea is to just bring them in and it do what it do, right? So if you flop or if you're loved, either way, it's good feeds for them, right? It's good.
I was gonna say, I think that's like a big part of it is like, I think people forget that it is a TV show and that a lot of it is just like what will make good TV. Like, yes, you know, was Frenchie's Funhouse like the best thing to live through? I'm sure not. But did it make great TV for them or great feeds? Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? And I think same thing with Kyle, where everyone was eating up the feeds this week.
Yeah. Really quickly, guys, I do have to go to class, so I just wanted to pop back on and say bye. But yes, Kyle and Frenchie are very much the same, twins from different countries, because I think Frenchie went into the game again wanting to put on a show for the fans, for BB Twitter, and he very much let that drive his game, whereas he wasn't really thinking about his own longevity in the game. So I think Kyle kind of has the same mentality given his background with BB Twitter. And then Frenchie also ran a pretty popular BB Twitter account before going into the house. So I think it's interesting how their backgrounds parallel each other in that sense, but then their styles of gameplay also parallel each other in the house. Maybe that's a lesson for the casting team to probably pull more of that because it's entertaining for the fans. But yeah, I just have one question for you guys. Do you think, before I go, do you think that Gino can be persuaded to target Kyle in order to save face with the rest of the house? Because Gino, I'm not sure if there's that much going on up there besides tattoo ink. So I feel
remembered
like
all those numbers, baby girl.
Well, yes,
the tattoo ink.
But socially and strategically, I'm not sure if I hate to use the word vapid, but I think he might be a little vapid, a little airy. So I wonder if he could be persuaded to put up one of his close allies in the name of, well, next week you won't have safety and JL's probably not going to win, so we won't come after you if you do us a favor. But I mean, if he was smart, he would realize that he should keep Kyle around since Kyle's a number for him. And he's still going to be on the bottom of their totem pole, regardless of whether, he does a favor for them or not. So what do you guys think?
I think he's sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you go, Kemi.
I think he's very much a guy's guy. Like, I think he will end up not putting up Kyle at all, but not because it's like this, like, strategic, like, intricate, like, well thought out plan. I think it's like, this is my bro, so I'm not putting him up.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Okay.
Like, I don't think much thought. I think, honestly, Gino was cast as a pretty face. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. Like, I think Gino was very much cast as a pretty face, not for his potential strategic prowess.
Yeah. Okay. Let me work on not being mean. I think that Gino is capable of a lot. So I'm really excited to see how this week goes.
It will be. Look, well, do we think, because people have asked about it, do we think that Gino is going to go with the people that are closest to him that he feels betrayed by? Will he go for Kyle, or will he go for a random number, maybe Josh, maybe put Josh back on the block, maybe put Summer on the block because
I don't know if it'll be like a Summer and Tanisha
He is
thing,
not
or if it'll be
That's what
I
I'm
think
thinking.
he could. I think he could. You would be surprised. Well, I guess men move differently, right? Because I feel like if it was and I mean, gender roles, so sorry, but like, we know that men kind of get mad and then they're like boys like 2.5 seconds later. So it's just kind of like a common thing. Whereas maybe females like, yeah, take that to heart and then like keep it on for weeks and weeks and weeks on end and become petty. So is this something that we think that Gino's going to be like, y'all, I thought you were my number ones and you all betrayed me, so I can't trust you? Or is he gonna go for a random number?
I see Marty having to damage control, but I just don't see him putting Marty up this week at all. I do think that he takes a shot at the other side. Yeah, I think he takes a shot at the other side for sure. And I think that he maybe puts up either like a combo of, I don't know about Summer, but probably Summer, Tanisha, Josh, maybe
Hermann would be a really good
Hermann, because Hermann really can go against him as well. I
don't think he would put up Summer though, would he? In my opinion, I don't think he's putting up Summer.
I think so. I mean, especially if JL's in his ear, just because they kind of have like a little love triangle thing going on. I'm not sure how much of that is attributed to.
And
Twitter.
it might just be more so you're a vote for Tanisha to stay, so I need to put you up here.
Yeah, something like that. I also feel like he could go after Moose, but I think even though Hermann is one of my favorites and I personally want Hermann to go far, I think targeting Hermann would be really good for Gino's game, because by like taking out the head of the snake, you're kind of dismantling the structure that the other side has.
That's true.
And with that,
if he knows that there's a structure.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, Chana.
Yeah, right.
We're joining
a lot, but bye guys.
Village Voice, baby.
Final four, baby.
Okay, we saw so many hand gestures at this vote. So one was this, right? Okay. One was this. So what is this? One was this.
What is the one that they just made? Like all the POCs. What's it called?
Oh my
True
goodness.
Fuse, I think.
Yeah, the True Fuse or the
True Fuse.
Something Fuse.
Maybe it's supposed to be like a T and a F or something. True Fuse.
Oh, the one was they said there was 3 of them. I forgot what the other one was. But yes. I don't know what they were doing, to be quite honest. I mean, there's a different one. I'm just happy I saw Tanisha do a different one than this, because she was doing this for pretty much the last 2. But true. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. Sergio says True Fuse or True Fuse.
True Fuse.
Yeah, in your season, did you have as many? Well, I know this. Y'all had a lot of alliances back and forth.
On season 9?
Yes. How?
Yeah, I was in my rat game era.
Yeah, everybody. I guess everybody is in that sense, because I'm the type of person where it's like my alliance is my alliance. I'm kind of like a Tanisha in that way, where I was like, okay, like I want to be. I didn't know that one going home meant that the whole alliance was completely, done with. Although in this case, Kyle actually took people from his alliance to put up. So I would definitely be like, that's done. That's done.
Oh, same. It's giving BBCAN 9 week 5. But we move.
I have to ask questions though. I have to ask questions because Ro and Bray, this is your first year watching Canada. And I think we talked about this, Brayden, but not with Rohan, but you both can answer. How do we feel about watching this?
Like first season, like after getting out, basically.
Yes.
It is a little weird because like this is the first season, like we know like everything that goes on behind the scenes, like the filming aspect of it, the production aspect of it. Yeah, just like understanding, like when they walk into the bedroom, it's like, oh my God, I was standing in that bedroom like a year ago today, or in the pantry, I was standing in the pantry a year ago today. So it's a little weird in that sense, just watching it on TV. And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, like just like on the live feeds, obviously like people are tuning in and watching, but there's so much that happens. And like to watch it in an edited episode, 3 times a week, there's just like a lot that kind of flies under the radar too. So I've noticed that.
I would agree. It's very almost like out of body to like watch people like doing what you were doing like a year ago. But also I think it's very interesting just seeing how everyone is playing from like a different perspective, from like a player's perspective.
Yeah. Is it hard for you? Is it hard for you, or do you still see them as real people? Is it hard for you to differentiate the player from the game? Like, because at first I was always like, these are people, which I still say, these are people, y'all. Like this to some people is real life for the moment that you're in it. You get hurt. The reactions are real. The hatred is real. The friendship bonding or the trauma bonding, whatever the hell you want to call it, it feels very real. But now coming out and we're like now analyzing their games and them, and we're picking them apart. Is it hard for you all to do that?
I would say yes or no. I think that the way that I navigate players, I think, as I'm very much like, I wouldn't do anything potentially that I wouldn't be happy with doing outside of the house. Yeah. So like watching people do certain things, or I mean, I haven't said anything crazy at this point, but if I were to see something that would be like, oh, then I'd be like, that one eye open thing where I'm like, oh, so that's how you move, because I could never do that to someone,
Absolutely.
It is tough talking about people too, because like I still have like a very opinionated of like the games people play and how they act in there. And just like I was season 8 and prior, just like I am season 10, but it's like sometimes they're gonna come out and we're gonna get to know these people after the show, and it's like, oh my God, you said what about me 6 weeks ago? And so it's a little harder in that sense, because like we've all like had this like very unique experience of being in there. We all know what kind of experience it's like. It's very different, it's very unique and unusual, and so like you have to have like some element of feeling like, okay, like they're not in regular world right now, like they may not be acting how they would on the outside, but You can't say that obviously for, everyone's attitude completely. I mean, they have to some degree act like a normal and regular person too, and a decent person at that fact. So that's the only thing that I think is different, is like, how do you talk about them outside of the house?
Is there anything that happened like with seasons before yours that you might have like said something about online that afterwards, like those house guests were like, you said this about, like, so I was active during BB20 on Twitter, and I talked a lot of shit. Like, not shit, but like, I was opinionated. I was part of BB Twitter.
Oh, I would talk my mess.
Yeah, so like some alum were like, you said that I was boy crazy, and I'm like, oops, like, did you guys have any of those sort of things?
I wasn't very active on like BB Twitter, but I know that like watching at home, I would very much be opinionated, be like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, that person is nuts. That person is moronic, and you know what? They deserve what's coming to them. But now, like, being there, like Rohan said, it's so hard because you're like, I don't want to like shit on these people, and then they're gonna come out, and then like you're gonna extend an olive branch to them, and they're gonna be like, wait, like you kind of shit on me like a few weeks ago. Like, what's that about? But also it's hard when you're just like, oh, like how could you not see that? Like, that is just like the very fundamentals of what you shouldn't have done, So it's hard. But I haven't had that experience yet where people have been like, so you said this about me. Interesting.
I wasn't active on Twitter before, but like I will say that I shared a couple opinions on like past house guests while I was in the house, and like it was picked up on some feeds, and so like people definitely came to me and they were like, oh my god, you said this about me, and I was like, yeah.
Ooh, what did you say, Ro?
Oh, that's too much. I mean, nothing like over the top bad, like just like I didn't really like their game or whatever, like something generic like that, and then be like, oh, like I saw that actually, but no, I mean, like, so I was like a little bit more cognizant of it after. I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have been like talking about past house guests in there in general, but how their game was or whatnot, because like I know people are talking about my game right now, what I did, so it's like it's just this whole loop that keeps going around. But
I mean, because I have been on the other side where I've come out and some people talk their mess about me, and I'm not gonna lie, I've interesting that you feel that way.
Wait, what?
Wait, say that again. Say that again. You kind of.
No, I was just saying that I have been on the opposite side where I've come out of the house and seen some house guests, maybe say some not so nice things. And I have, obviously, felt the type of way about it. I just think that there's a difference between shitting on someone's gameplay and just shitting on someone,
Yeah.
From our season or from others past seasons?
For people talking about my gameplay from other seasons, or I mean both, babe. Both.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying in general, like there's a difference between, being like, oh, like that person's such an idiot, like they're so stupid, versus like, yeah, it wasn't the best game move, but I'm sure like deep down they're a sweet person. Like there's two differences, There's like there's a nuance to it.
Kimmy, babe.
What about you guys? Did that ever happen to you guys?
She's having some
She's back.
Okay. That's never happened to me now, but I mean, BB21, I was not really on the show, et cetera, et cetera.
So, I mean, yes, of course. And I think that, in the next few years, it calms down. Then people, as more game players play the game, they and even people that watch the show end up getting almost like that big brother brain where they forget what other people, how other people played, and then they become kind of like the targets or the worst big brother player in history or whatever the case is, so like I've been added and been like, Jessica's the worst big brother player in history. And it's like, really? Have you watched all 20 at that point? Have you watched all 21 seasons of this show? Like, and Canada, like I would be the worst player in history, and then come from now after you see 22, and them not doing a big game moves in 23, that people are like, oh my god, Jessica's HOH, the best HOH ever, can't wait for another bold move
Jazz
like
HOH.
that, and it's like, which one is it, babe? Which one is it? So yeah, I think that it always happens for me. It does it. I'm trying to be very, very nice in some cases with all of these, with all of these people.
Jessica loves to get in Twitter fights. Let me just say that. If someone talks about Jessica on Twitter, she will respond. Me, I like to act like people don't exist. Like I live in a bubble. You don't exist in my world. Jess is very like, let me search my name with the hashtag and see which bitches are talking shit.
I don't search hashtags. I get added. I literally get added. And I think Moses said it, and he said people were mad at me mainly because I didn't trust Nicole Anthony to the degree which they thought that she was down for me, but it was never really like that. And I think people who went really hard after me on 21 saw her on 22 and then started standing me. So it was kind of like, because they kind of saw how she moved outside of the 21 realm and moved into her own on 22 with these all-stars. And so it was just, that's kind of how they saw, oh, we see what you saw now. It was just kind of like, it wasn't that I love Nicole Anthony. I think she's a great person, but like as a player, like there wasn't it, when you don't trust somebody, you don't trust somebody. And we've all seen it, maybe even on this season and on 23 and on other seasons, even when I saw you two, like there were alliances that I wanted to see that people they just couldn't get it together. Right? They just couldn't be friends. They didn't have the energy. They didn't have this. But there's a lot of Twitter people that are like, I stand this person, and because this player doesn't get along with this person, I automatically don't like that house guest because I stand this person. A very Azah and Hannah type of situation. Hannah stands versus Azah stands. There were Jessica, stands versus Nicole Anthony stands. Kemi stands versus the whole house. Like it was like everybody was like, you just had those moments, So I try not to be one of those people. I like to kind of see everybody as is and kind of meet them outside. But like Brayden says, like you kind of sleep with one eye open. You watch how they move, because more than most, how they move inside of the house is usually how they move outside of the house. I have rarely seen someone who was like a complete asshole inside of the house that was just the most pleasurous, like the most, I don't know how to say the word, but like
that's not true. Our entire house is hashtag be kind. What do you mean? Be kind. Spread kindness. Spread love.
Just laugh.
Anything that you saw during Jess's season that was nasty or anything like that, it's very much you didn't see the whole picture because the 24-hour feeds only show you this much. They only showed this much, and it was completely taken out of context. But out of the house, love and light.
You're always gonna see. Look, y'all. I just have to say this. If and this is going back to, let's go back to BBCAN, because when we're talking about Kyle saying he wants to be the most iconic player in BBCAN history, and he's only watched one season and has admitted to never watching feeds, baby, you don't know what an iconic player is. You wouldn't know it. Like, I'm sure he probably saw Party and didn't know who he was. Like, do we think he knows who Party was?
I think he did, because he went up. No, because he went up to Kevin and he's like, "Oh, it was John." Unless they
because
just
it was John.
John Party. Okay, well, I guess.
Because it was John.
Didn't he say on the feeds that he hasn't watched season 3 yet?
John was season 2.
I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was. I don't know, but we're gonna wrap this up, but let's talk about the new HOH is Gino.
Gino's in his comp era.
in his Comp Beast era. I know Hannah had said a few things about Gino kind of being vapid and like not having too much up here because he's kind of brawn versus brains type of situation. Do we think that he's going to play this HOH intelligently?
I don't know if he is he just won the memory comp. He didn't win a physical comp for a quote unquote, physical comp beast.
Yeah, but memory doesn't necessarily mean that he's gonna make the smartest decisions in the game. Because like you can have a good memory, but not necessarily be good at a game like this. And just like with physical competitions, you could be a physical beast and win like a big physical competition and still not make the right game. So I think it's the same thing, honestly. Like if the competition was a little bit more intuitive than just memorizing if something was higher or lower, then maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to get influenced a lot. We haven't seen him very much on the edited episodes in terms of DRs or strategic conversations or anything of that matter. I basically just like don't even know what his voice sounds like at this point. So we're going to see a lot more of him at this week in these episodes. But I mean, he's got Kyle, he's got Marty. Marty's going to have to explain himself to him with his vote. I think Marty might even try to swing him to the other side, if I'm being honest. Like Marty's already clear that he's voted in the 9-2 crowd. So he could actually put in a few words with Gino and say like, hey, look, you want to come over to the good guys and see if that works. But who knows?
I think it's criminal that we don't get beads immediately after a blindside like that. Like it's ridiculous. Like I want to see what's out. Like the drama, because they're not going to include
Oh, not this Frozen.
Not the way. She's gonna hate the fact that she's getting frozen like this.
Screenshot.
Ro, you do it because that's not.
Should I tweet that later?
She'll kill you. She will kill you unless you want to die.
That's a meme.
If you want to die.
Oh.
Okay.
I do think that it would be, I think, a bad choice for Gino to get rid of Kyle. I would say that, I mean, I feel like I'm coming across as
I can't do this I can't do this.
I'm just removing her. I really am coming across as a Gino fanatic, but I would say that until this week, I would say that Gino was. Oh no, Kemi.
I'm sorry.
I think Ro screenshot your face. He might blackmail you later.
He better not.
It's gonna be a new meme on Twitter.
I'm gonna tell Biden to close the borders because if I see that surface on Twitter, oh no.
Not everyone.
It's over for me, eh?
It's over today.
Oh, I have it, so I can use it whenever I need to. Anyway, go ahead, Bray.
Oh, I was just saying that I think it would be dumb for Gino to get rid of Kyle. And I mean, I don't know if memory serves me 100% correct, but I would say that until this week, Gino was positioned very well in the house, was he not?
He was.
So, I mean, he does have some strategic chops. I don't think that he really is just this big airhead that just navigates the house, by fluke. But I mean, it is hard when he'll have 9 people in his ear telling him that he should, backdoor Kyle. Maybe even JC, who knows, who's going to tell him to backdoor Kyle. I just think that looking at it, he's kind of, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. And to me, personally, I would be like, you know what? I've been riding with Kyle. Let me just ride with Kyle. He's safe this week. Sorry, guys. Like, I'm not putting him up. Now, Marty, since Marty wanted to play games, that's a different story. Kevin, Hermann, I thought we were in an All Boys Alliance. That's a different story, but I would be like, you know what? Kyle and JC really did. We all had each other that week, so I'm just going to respect that moving forward. But I see what Rohan means where I could see it being very hard when the whole house is telling you to flip on someone.
And it's tough. I know what you're saying too. Like, I don't dislike Gino, to be honest with you. Like, I like the guy for sure. We just haven't seen a lot of him, right? Like, we haven't seen a lot of him in the episode so far. We haven't seen a lot of conversations that he's been actively active in, as opposed to just like being in the room. So it's gonna be interesting, I guess, is what I'm saying, to see like what he does with the actual power, right? And the conversations that he leads and the conversation that he starts and the one-on-ones that he's gonna be having. And I think, like, honestly, this is his time to shine, right? Like, he could toss himself into this game, like, and make a name for himself. I know it's only week 4, but you know, to give himself that screen time and that strategic aspect, I think this is going to be huge for him. So we'll see.
I do hope he ends up like also winning the veto, right? Wait, in Canada
they don't play? No, that's the beauty. I think that's the beauty of this, is that in Canada the HOH does not play in the veto.
And it does get used more because of it, right? Like, so it gets used like a shit ton more. It was up until season 6, I think they actually had the HOH thing, and then I think season 7 on they stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. Honestly, yeah, I think that's great. I hope that someone other than Kyle ends up winning the veto. I don't know. I honestly kind of like the fact that Gino won a little, like a tiny bit. That way it isn't like just an expected week of Kyle going home, right? Unless he won the veto. So this kind of prevents the inevitable steamroll. Even though it will be steamrolled by who I would want to be steamrolling.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just makes for a better season, better show, better feeds. But I wish we got the feeds immediately.
Yeah.
Do you guys know, does Arissa normally announce like on the week before that it's going to be a double eviction, or is it like?
She didn't say.
But she normally does, right? Like the week before.
She'll normally say it up until she'll say it up until like the Thursday episode normally. Like, okay. I don't know, maybe on like the Monday or the Wednesday episode, she'll be like, "Get ready, it's a double eviction."
Yeah.
And then everyone knows.
Yeah. One of the things I think, so a lot of people here were just, I'm kind of like looking at some of the comments, and, you know, they're saying, you know, Kyle has kind of become a bit of a shield for everyone and how bad he's messed up his HOH. So it would be dumb to take him out. But like, I think what a lot of people kind of underestimate is that there is such a thing as BB brain. And so it's like, they forget about you for like, once they forget about you about the week, you are no longer a target. Let's look at someone like Jess, who thought she, you know, went up the first week, and now everybody's forgotten about her. Everybody became a target other than her. She's pretty clear to at least make jury, in my opinion.
That was my biggest fear with Josh, and that's why I pushed so hard during the Rohan flip, because I was like, listen, if Josh survives this week, that's 2 weeks that he's been a big target that he stayed. I was like, he's going to make it to jury, and he'll make it to the end, because you guys just are like, oh, it's fine. We'll get rid of him at another time. And
it was something, and it's something that even it happened on my season, you know, with the whole Jack and Jackson thing. It was like, I got rid of Jackson and kept I got rid of Jack and kept Jackson, but only because I didn't have a relationship with Jack, and he quite literally deserved it because he's just a shit human being. But either way, like, you know, it was just like, he was not someone that you could really work with, versus with Jackson, I knew people hated him. He was still on the outs with a lot of people, me thinking that he was going to get targeted. And once he won safety that next week, people wanted to work with him again. He ended up getting into another alliance, and he ended up winning the game. So it's one of those things where you keep on thinking that this is your meat shield. You think this is a person that's going to be looked at, but you in turn will end up getting looked at before them, because then they'll want to, because especially if you're a comp beast with someone like Gino. Like, I actually think that if Gino, regardless of whether he takes out Kyle or not, he may make a move that will get him targeted first than Kyle. You know, Kyle could literally just be really low key, take this time, instead of Gino like making mends and relationships to his game because he was associated with Kyle. I think I see Kyle, this is me giving him a lot of like
of
credit.
Course.
Okay,
I know,
right?
I agree.
So me thinking that he will think, damn, I really messed up my HOH. I'm going to need to take this time that I'm safe because of Gino to really make moves, apologize to the people that I needed to apologize, explain myself as to why I did these things, and establish trust. All the while, Gino's making these dumb moves or whatever, because the house is going to want him to do something that he's probably not going to do. That's if Gino doesn't go along with the house. What I think would make sense for Gino is to appease the house and at least put Kyle on there, you know, even give him the option to win, you know, to win the veto, or maybe put him as a backdoor option or whatever he is. Because at this point, Kyle's not going to be, I mean, it's going to be a number in a vote, but what does it matter if everybody else who's in the house is going to target you for not putting Kyle up? You become enemy number one and Kyle stays in the house, you know, because
I think it depends. It goes either way.
And I think he's and I also think that Gino is a smart guy. I think that he's not just muscle. I think the fact that he even got the numbers right was not a coincidence. I think that he definitely does, you know, think about these things. I think the fact that he even knew the prices to even do that, he had been studying his days, that, you know, he knows that he has JC Lynn in his back pocket. He knows he has Summer, or had Summer, in his back pocket. I mean, like, he was literally cuddling with Summer while JC Lynn was in the other bed, turned to the other side. You know, like, he knows that he's working his like, he knows what he's working with.
I forgot also, sorry to interrupt, I forgot also he got so close with the number of seconds for the competition. Like, he's so close with that. Like, so he you know what, he does have a good mind on him. I think maybe he's just, like, you know, playing it cool. Sorry to interrupt, Jess. Go ahead.
No, you didn't interrupt at all. That's exactly what I was, you know, trying to say. I don't agree with some of the things that some people are saying on the comments, but, you know, I don't believe that Summer, I enjoy Summer. First of all, I enjoy Summer, and I think that she is pretty smart. I loved the part in the episode where she looked at Helena and she said, what can I do for our alliance, and how can I get into a closer relationship with you? I think that's someone, I mean, that's better than I would have done. I would have just said, peace out, bitch. I'm walking the other way and I'm not even going to look at you. Like, you know, but I mean, it's hard. It's hard to, like, I don't know. Do you feel the same way? I feel like it's very hard for me to swallow my pride and be like, I'm going to try to make this amends with you. For me, I'm just going to be pissed. And, like, whenever I see you around, I'm just going to, like, walk the other way, which is usually what I did in the house.
Well, Jess, we talk about this all the time. Like the biggest difference between Jess and I is, like, she's a little bit more not emotional than I am, but like she sees things sometimes from more of, like, an not emotional. That's not the word that I'm trying to use.
Personal,
right? From more of a personal standpoint, whereas I would not look at her as a person, like, which sounds bad.
You're more objective.
Right. It would more so be like, well, how can I use, this person's here, so how can I use them to benefit me, because I'm here for myself. Which is, you know, not the nicest way of looking at things, but, you know, I'm sure Summer isn't trying to be Helena's friend, you know, so it's like, this is the situation that we're in. How do I use her as a tool to get what I want, which is Josh saying. And I think, honestly, it worked out in everyone's favor up until Gino won HOH. But yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and they're also in an alliance together. So it was kind of like girls in an alliance, which is kind of interesting, because I haven't heard of Mandem in a while, or from them in a while. I didn't think that they were still in alliance, but I guess they are.
I think it's like an unspoken thing where it's just like, yeah, we're good, you know, don't worry about it.
You know, I don't think that they would target, if any of those women were to gain, were to get have HOH, then none of them would be targeted. I think they're definitely clearly looking at the, at the men. I don't think Summer, for whoever said, I don't know who called Summer the pick me, which I completely disagree with, because I think that she's been playing very well. She has relationships with almost everybody, everybody in the house, just because, she's bored and she has some man candy there that she wants to play with. Now, do I think she's a little petty? I love it. I love it from her. Do I think that it's going to get her in trouble with someone like JC Lynn? Absolutely. I don't see them having a very close relationship in these next couple weeks if they both stay. But I also think that JC Lynn will convince. I feel like JC Lynn would be the person that would convince Gino to put Hermann up, specifically because what he did to Stephanie was shady. And I think she's going to hold on to that. And I think that Hermann's going to be her number one target, in terms of like how she thought, because they were all in an alliance together as well.
Yeah.
So you had to take that into an account. They were all in an alliance, and what you do is basically you come after your own when you feel like you've been, like, yeah. So,
I mean, Hermann's probably going to make the case that it was like, oh, Kyle was the one that like really did this alliance in, and try to refocus.
Yeah, you'll throw Kyle under the bus for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he has to. That's really his option there. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Hermann is going to do this week, because arguably I had him in the best position in the house, like coming into tonight's eviction. So it's going to be interesting to see how he wiggles himself out, but who knows?
Do you think that anybody should do this? Would they at all call a house meeting to have them target Kyle?
I'm so over scare tactics. Like, I'm like, then you'll go on the block.
Yeah, I don't think it works. I think that's why one of the reasons why Kyle didn't get what he wanted.
He tried it.
Was because he tried it.
He's like, I have the numbers, and this person is going to stay. So if you go against that, guess what? You're going to go home next week. And everyone was like, anyways.
Someone just said, just join. Jess, do you have an issue with Helena? Like, where did you get that from?
We haven't even talked about Helena, have we?
We haven't even talked about Helena.
Not our idea.
No, actually, I don't. I actually think that she's also playing a very great game. I liked the edit that she was given today. It was very aware of where she's at, like, that she's in the middle, that she's going to have to kind of pick a side, although everybody picked the same side. So I guess she's kind of back in the middle again. Because I think that's what the thing was, right? They thought that she was going to be. What was that?
I love him being directed at Jess. Like,
I know. I'm like, why me? Like, what did I say? I was like, Mia, why are you saying that I have an issue with Helena? Why would I have an issue with her? No, absolutely not. I think that that Helena, actually, she's one of my favorite people right now, aside from Summer, in terms of how she's playing. I like Tanisha, but Tanisha's a little emotional in ways, and I think that that's
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that like Tanisha, it's like, I mean, she would have been not liked by many, 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 many people had she done what she wanted to do, which was give Stephanie the heads up that she was getting backdoored. Could you imagine? She would have been iconic for ruining the blind side. Not the backdoor, but the blind side.
A beautiful blind side too. Like, shout out to production for getting everyone's faces into in the shot. Like,
I just don't know. How do you not know at 9-2? Like, at least with like ours, it was 6-3, so it was like, oh, it could have went either way, But yeah. I was like 9-2. I was like, babe. As soon as I would have heard 9-2, I'd been like, well, damn, you got me.
Well, that's
just like.
Then we have Arissa. We have Arissa being messy. Josh, you're safe. Like, okay, Arissa.
Oh, I knew she was gonna do that too. Because do they ever do that in the US? They never do the safe thing, right? It's just always you're evicted. Sometimes they do. But yeah, no, Arissa, I knew she was gonna do that. She has to do that on Blindside too. Did she do that with Latoya and Kiefer? I think
she did do it to Kiefer. And Kiefer
she did. Like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, even though he already knew, he was like obviously trying to play it out. But like, yeah, I mean, you got to like do it all the way to the very end, and then pan to the HOH and be like, but I gotta watch it back tomorrow. I want to watch the facial expressions again. Just
who
I
would be right? I hear Jorge said that everybody's so far that has left so far said they would target Summer on TikTok. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. She's a very good player. Do you know what I mean? Like,
she knows who she needs to get rid of. She definitely knows who she needs to get rid of. That's for sure.
Well, we're happy that this is the pre-jury, not the jury, saying these things. Keep calm.
Absolutely.
Keep Summer's name out of your mouth.
Well, I think it's because Summer has such good relationships with everyone in the house. And I think that they're always shocked when they're like, "Wait, was that girl playing me the whole time? We need to get that girl out of that house." You know, I think that's what it's coming down to. And I think the people that are leaving are realizing that Summer's really gaming, and I think that they think that she's just chilling in the house, but she's really out there gaming them all.
They are. I would say that a good amount. No, pretty much almost everybody in this that's left in this house is gaming. Mm-hmm. They're gaming pretty hard. Would you not say?
Except Gino.
I think that we might see it. I don't know. Okay, do we think that we're gonna see a different Gino? Like, I just feel like this is gonna a slap in the face, you know, of just like, oh wow, I was comfortable and this is what was happening.
Well, we can talk about that next week. Up until now, we haven't seen anything from Gino, which is fine. Like, it's only week 3, but I can't speak of like the realm of possibilities of what might happen, because he honestly, I could very easily see Kyle being in a tizzy right now and being like, we need to do this. These people turned against us. It wasn't just me. It was us. They're against us. So this is what we need to do. And Kyle seems like the type to really put his foot down. And Gino seems a little bit more like laissez-faire about things. So I could I could easily see Kyle running this HOH. But who knows? You know, who knows?
Yeah, I'm split. It's either that, like, I can very much see this being like a second Kyle HOH, and when Kyle says some things, I think like we started to notice, right? It's not necessarily a conversation. It's more like this is what we're doing, and you're gonna vote this way, or you're gonna do this, and so and so far Gino's been receptive to how Kyle likes to manage that relationship. So now that Gino has the power, it might be a little bit different, and you know, we'll see if Gino wants to take some steps to establish a name for himself and not for just Kyle. Yeah, I'm split. I really don't know. It's really a tough question.
So who do we? Oh yeah, Bray.
What? Sorry, what was the question? Do I think that?
Yeah, as far as like, do you think that Kyle might run Gino's HOH, or do you think Gino might like establish his autonomy?
I think Gino may establish his autonomy, but I think that he will be I just don't think he's going to touch Kyle. Like, I think he'll be like, I'll listen to you. We're working together. Great. But at the end of the day, like, I want to make moves here. You know, Marty got to make his big move. You got to try to make your big move. Now, like, it's my turn to try and make a big move. I'm not here to, you know, play Kyle's game, play Marty's game.
I also think, like, Summer might be a nice influence on that.
I think so, but I worry that if she tries to influence too much, that it will be a red flag for him. Because all it takes is, you know, JC, Marty, Kyle, all these people being like, why is Summer trying to tell you what to do? Like, why does she think, you know? And you know how men think, not to be that, but he'll be like, you're right. Why is she telling me what to do? Let me put her up.
Mm-hmm. We're also not considering the fact that Jace actually might be upset. Sorry, I was just gonna say, I don't think we also consider the fact that Jace also might be like really pissed that Kyle just sent Steph home, right? Like, that's like, I think maybe getting lost in all of this, and like, obviously Gino's gonna forgive Kyle, and you know, I don't know if Gino particularly loved having Steph around in general, so he might not be that upset about it. But Jace, I mean, like, best friends with Steph in the house, like, really didn't want her to go, and now Kyle just put her in this, like, you know, in this wave of pre.
On the feeds, JC was very much like, I don't know why everyone keeps saying that we're a duo. Like, I'm not just gonna vote to keep her because we're friends. Like, she kind of just follows me around the house.
Oh, I didn't see that. Well, there
I
you
mean,
go.
she did,
Or-
but she kept. So now I guess this would be what we're looking for in feats, right? Is JC seriously sad that Stephanie is gone? Was she just saying that to people so she wouldn't get targeted because she knew that Stephanie was, you know,
So I
was
saw
kind of messy?
before we did that, so on Twitter, there was like someone capping conversations, and JC said she's more upset because she wanted to keep Josh in the first place, but was just going to go with what the house was going to do. So I think she's more upset that everyone just blindsided her when she was going to keep Josh anyways, and then now everyone is like, well, she voted against you, Josh. What about that?
She's very lucky as well. She's one that was very lucky that Gino won HOH because it gives her a moment to also kind of calm down her emotions and try to create these relationships again with the other people, because it does suck to be on the other side of a blind side and be like, why the hell didn't anybody tell me this? And I know my position in the house is that nobody's telling me what's going on, right? And so she's kind of feeling that way too. Like she's probably that's a good point, Rohan, that she could be very upset with Kyle, maybe even at herself for like doing Kyle's bidding. Maybe she will talk to Gino and be like, this is not the guy that we want, you know, in the house. Let's if we really want to do this, let's try to solidify some other solid things so that we're safe next week and target Kyle so that he's under. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people said that, you know, maybe Hermann and it looks like Marty. We'll see. They still have a couple of days.
Someone was saying that apparently before the eviction, he said that if he were to win, he was going to nominate Tanisha and Moose.
That's what Gina said?
Yeah, apparently before like he won and like earlier today or yesterday.
I think that would align with what I've seen so far. I really don't think Summer's going to hit the block, but like that's just my opinion. I know you guys think she might touch it, but yeah, I think like Moose and Tanisha would probably be along the lines of what I think Gina would do. So, and we haven't talked a lot about Moose too, but I mean, he came back from the dead there and really just like put it to Kyle, which I love to see. Just like, you know, you get put on the block, it's your own alliance member, and then you win the veto. Like there's nothing better.
It was the check for me. It really was.
Oh, the check. Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Ro?
Yeah.
Them calling Moose a veto king when he only has one veto under his belt. How do you want to address that?
I mean, look, I hope he hits my record. You know, it's a tie for a record. Like, I don't know if the king title can be placed yet. Maybe at 3, we'll see. But well, I don't know. He could do some damage, and it's interesting because I think like there's been 10 different competitions and 10 different winners at this point. So we haven't seen anyone win 2 competitions yet this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, nobody's won it more than once.
I don't think we can even have a comp beast yet that we're going to label right now, because we got 13 house guests left, 10 different competition winners.
I mean, I guess technically Moose has won the most because he won part 1 of the HOH, right? On night 1.
And yeah, but like he didn't get like that's still Hermann's competition, right?
It was still comp.
Yeah.
Hermann chose a door.
Yeah.
You're telling me that he randomly chose a door. True. You can't be telling me that's his comp.
Who's mad? Who's mad that Josh didn't get to open a door and win some money? Because I felt like I needed that for him.
Yes, absolutely.
I was shocked, especially because it's St. Patrick's Day. I was like, oh, they're going to be like, hey, Josh, time for you to win gold. Like, open a door.
See? That's what they need, y'all, in production. That needed to happen. That needed to happen.
But also, you know, they can't be giving out up to $5,000 every week.
Listen, Wendy's, we've seen a lot of Wendy's, so I think they can afford to give out a little bit more cash.
True that. I think so. Well, I mean, I think for the most part, I think we covered everything. So who do we think going around? Who do we think Gino is going to put up? Guesses? And those, let us know in the chat what you think or who you think is going to be put up. Let's start with Brayden.
I do think that Tanisha will touch the block, unfortunately. Who is next to her, though, I think could be a various combination. Like, he could, I don't know how close he is with Jess. He could pop them up there. He could put Betty. Betty's like a safe option at this point for people to put up. He could put Moose. Or he could just do a Moose Josh 2.0. I think something that would be shocking, I think, would be if he put Kyle up. But I think that it'll either be probably like a Tanisha Moose or like a Josh Moose in my mind. Maybe Hermann. Depends on how he wants to play. I don't know if he wants to backdoor someone.
So who are the two nominees, Bray?
All of them.
Okay, I will say that it is probably going to be a combo of Josh, Moose, and Tanisha. Between those three, I think. But who knows? What do you think, Ro?
What about you, Ro?
Yeah, I think Tanisha's inevitable. I think she touches the block at some point. Probably as an original nominee. It's just because, like, look, like Jace is going to be in Gino's ear, being like, "Hey, like Summer and Tanisha, Summer and Tanisha." I don't think he's going to put up Summer. I think he would put up Tanisha, like meet her halfway.
Yes.
And Tanisha obviously not super tight with Gino at this point. And Kyle's had Tanisha's name in his mouth, so I mean, it seems inevitable there. The second nominee is going to be interesting. When you just said, Bray, that he had already mentioned Moose's name, I think that makes sense to what I think Gino would do. Kyle already put up Moose. Gino was on board with that plan. I think it's probably going to be Moose or Tanisha. Jess done a good job of avoiding the block lately. I think week 1 they were there and then suddenly flying under the radar. So I think I think they might actually avoid it. Josh may be a possibility, but I don't really see it because he just came off and everyone was really unhappy about it. He just got saved 9-2. So I'm gonna go with Moose and Tanisha.
Kemi? She's behind.
Not her on East Coast time.
Oh,
Am
we
I
can't hear
frozen?
you.
Oh, you're back.
You're back now.
Okay. I think it's going to be a combination of like Josh, Moose, Betty, because
Ooh.
Betty has already touched the block, and like I don't think he's working with her, is he?
No. That's why I don't know if he
Right.
pops up like a Betty, just like an easy option, and then it's like, oh, if someone comes down, I will backdoor them, like very no
Right.
blood, like why get so super bloody if I can just put up a pawn that everyone's okay with going up.
Right. And I think that someone who's already been on the block is like much less blood on your hands than someone like Tanisha, who you might not be working with, but like if she doesn't end up going home, then it's like we have Betty who voted like on the other side than me, and then we also have Tanisha still here, and it's like, yeah, the whole house like pretty much didn't vote. He voted in the he was on the wrong side of the vote of the entire house. But I feel like Betty, since she's already touched the block, it's just easier to put someone up who's already been up. But I think target-wise, it would definitely be like Moose or Josh. Am I frozen?
No, you're fine.
Nope.
I just think it'll be very interesting what the house would choose if it was Tanisha and Josh on the block.
I think they
If
sent
they were
Tanisha.
You think? You don't think Summer riles for Tanisha to stay?
I don't know. I don't think Josh touches the block as an original nominee just because he just got saved by a vote of 9-2, right? And one of them is HOH right now that voted for Steph to stay. And it looks like he's got a whole lot of support in the house, right? So I don't know if he's going to want to touch him, but I mean, that's just my opinion. Who knows?
No, I'm just saying, like, I just don't know who would go. I don't think it's very dead set that Tanisha automatically goes home sitting next to Josh.
No, definitely not automatic. Definitely not automatic.
What do you think, Jess? Who do you think goes up?
To be quite honest, like, I think it's a toss-up. I think Gino, as much as Gino was on like one side, I feel like he became a wild card because he's just been he was blindsided just like Kyle, right? So I don't know. And he's a Cancer man. So I'm just throwing in Cancer men here because a very, very popular men, Cancer men include Jack Matthews and Kyland. So these are men that are very unpredictable and that are can be very emotional and could take things very personally. So I'm thinking that he might go after someone who has completely broken his trust. So that might just be a Marty. It might, though I don't see him
I don't see it
as Marty, because Marty is very like, Marty is honest in a really weird way. So I think that his honesty, if Marty like talks to him and tells him why, that he could even try to convince, Marty could try to convince like, hey, I wanted to work with Josh. Steph was coming after me. And I think we should bring in Josh. And then bam, there's another alliance, you know? So I think that Hermann is a very big possibility. I think from the flip and the way that he's worked with Hermann, I think he might feel the most betrayed by Hermann in saying like, this guy's playing me, because that's just been what's been floating around, you know? And him knowing that. I know. Sorry, I had to say Cancer men. It's just the thing. Wait, bro, what are you?
I'm a Pisces. I just had my birthday last week.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I was waiting to say it so I could get a happy birthday wish.
Not waiting.
Everybody say happy birthday to Rohan in the chats.
Happy birthday.
I think it'll be very interesting as to what happens, because I think about what happened last year with me and Ro, where, you know, all these people voted against Kiefer, but Kiefer still protected them because he was like, I'm not going to go against my alliance. So I don't know if that also holds true this week, where he's like, you know what, let me just stay true. You know, we can work through this. Realistically, we're all we have. The whole house is against us. So let's just try to take a shot at the other side.
Yeah.
Because I definitely would have thought, me and Ro both thought like, oh, there's no way he goes back to, you know, his alliance after they voted him out.
So sweet.
But crazier things have happened.
Someone says maybe T and Jess. I can see
I'm delayed over here, so I don't even know what's showing up and what isn't.
We kind of hear you. We hear you. But yeah. Am I saying I think it's probably Hermann and T? It might be a Hermann and Jess. I don't know if he would want to put T up, and like depending on how he feels about Summer. Like
I just feel like it's been a
situation.
It's been a constant reiterated message that apparently T is coming for you. You know, like I don't think he's heard anyone else say, "Oh, like this person's coming for you," besides everyone being like, "Oh yeah, Tanisha's coming for you." So I think he falls back on that, where he's like, you know what, you did say you were coming for me. I'm just gonna put you up. If you take yourself down, great, but that's just where my head's at right now.
Maybe a backdoor Hermann then.
I could see that, honestly. I could see. That's why I don't know if he puts up Moose if he really wants him out, because everyone has been like, oh, he's 1-1 veto now. You know, if you want to get rid of him, you have to backdoor him. That's the only way to get rid of him.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the only way you could get rid of a target for y'all.
That part
is backdooring them. So, Kemi, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
She said, "Nar."
No thanks.
Say no.
I'm just getting the message now.
She knows she's freezing up, so I'm sure she's just like,
No, I'm like listening.
Okay. Well, I just want to take the time out to thank absolutely everybody for coming and joining this live chat with us. Click like and subscribe, click to receive those notifications so that you are aware of when we are on next and what we'll be talking about next. Ro, thank you so much for coming with us today. We've gotten some very valuable information from you. You are welcome here anytime if you want to come back for the next messy eviction, whenever that will be, maybe next week. I have no idea. It's always
I would love to come back. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, if y'all want Ro to come back, let us see it in the chat so that we know.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And so what do you have, Rohan? Where can people follow you? And what are you up to? Let everybody know.
What am I up to? The Rohan Kapoor, so THE Rohan Kapoor on Instagram and on Twitter, by the way. So I'm getting pretty active in the BBCAN Twitter game. So yeah, follow me there. What am I? Bring back Ro. Let's go. That's what I'm telling people. What am I up to? I don't know. I'm just working, living my life, trying to do cool podcasts, and as much screen time as I can get, I'll freaking do it. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, preparing for that BBCAN All Stars, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm available.
You know, talks are that something might be brewing in Canada for the finale. So who knows? Maybe we'll all see you again. We'll all see each other again in person, not too far from now. We have what do we have? Do we have 5 more weeks?
I feel like I'm just smiling at this point. I don't know.
6, 7 more weeks.
Yeah, almost 2 months. Yeah, it's on early May. Yeah.
Right?
May 5th.
May 5th. May 5th.
Yeah. May 5th, which will be the
do
finale.
Bray's birthday celebration there too, just a little ahead of time.
11 days later.
Yeah.
You know, we're all trying to do a little bit of a finale watch party somewhere in Toronto, hopefully. Mm-hmm. So if anybody wants to know when that's going to happen, just make sure that you subscribe to us and we'll keep on we'll keep on mentioning it. We also are trying to get some previous BB house guests, these past BB10 house guest interviews. So I think that's it. Kemi, anything else you want to say before we leave Honey Bunches?
No. I have no idea what happened in the past 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Rohan was just talking about what he was doing, what he was up to. That's all.
You didn't miss anything super crazy. Don't worry. We didn't create a Final 3 alliance while you were gone.
No, not at all.
I do have a screen grab of you though, Kemi. So if you guys follow me at the Rohan Kapoor, you might see it later.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yes, we'll be honey. We are now called the Honey Bunches. Yes, this is the 4 plus Hannah. Honey Bunches. Yes.
Honey Bunches. Love that. If we ever get on an international season,
not us just looking at each other like Honey Bunches. It's done.
Or Village Bunches, or Honey Voices.
We are at the Village Voice.
We are the Honey Voices.
Honey Voices.
Maybe.
Honey Voices.
That's
the honeycombs.
Oh, there
anyways.
you go. Anyway, well, yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
We
Thank
love
you so much
all.
for joining.